up, traders? Good morning. Good morning. Happy, I don't even know what today is, man. Happy Thursday. It is July 9th already. Man, this summer's flying by. Summer's already over. Happy Thanksgiving, ladies and gentlemen. Now, guys, what's going on? Smash that like button if you're ready to make some money. We've got a lot to cover from overnight. Since the last time I spoke with you guys for the last market in the morning, markets have sort of given us a little bit of a shift back to the upside. So let's cover some charts, let's cover some headlines, see how markets are digesting these headlines, and find some trades today. So guys, if you're ready to make some money, smash that like button. Market in the morning starts right now. Mr. Random, you're spot on, bro. Good morning, guys. Drop a good morning, drop a W, whatever you got to drop in the comments to let me know that you're here and you're ready to make some money today. We're going to cover some S&P futures real quick, go over gold, go over NASDAQ. Now, unfortunately, it is Thursday, which is a fortunate thing, but we do not have Mr. Jeeve joining us today. We will have special guests. This is a special guest we've had on before, pretty recently. I'm sure you guys know who it is. And he will be on probably around New York session open, maybe even a little earlier, maybe a little later, but let's get excited. What's up, LG? Malvin, good morning. Jennifer, good morning. What's going on, guys? Silver, good morning. Welcome. What's going on? Andrea, good morning. Famous, Piyush, hello, everybody. Hello. I see we got a full class right off the open. I love to see it, guys. Keep that going. Keep smiling. Keep enjoying the markets. Let's find some levels and some trades to take. So S&P futures stabilize as Iran war risk meets deal talks. Okay, so there we go. Right off the bat, what are we seeing? Possible deal talk. What do we want to do? Come to our breaking news area over here and also our high impact to see was there any legit news talk going on. Had gold buys. Nice. Amy, good morning. Sean, good morning. Mr. Random, you're spot on, brother. That is going to be our special guest today. You guys got it. Piyush, you know. Lisa, good morning. Hope you guys are all doing well, man. Happy Thursday. So let's go into our news feed. See, 7 hours ago. Haven't decided on pulling out troops out of Greenland. Interesting. Iran called a while ago. They want to make a deal. Okay, so here's that headline that would give us a bit more of a bullish sentiment. But what I do want to see is, did anything come out yesterday during the afternoon? Because that's when we saw markets sort of started to flip back bullish, right? Gold sold off, it continued lower, pulled back. Look at this, guys. Here's that 40.90 area we were waiting on. It did give a few short opportunities if you were looking for scalps. We finally broke it. And how do you like that, guys? We broke it, and then we used it as support this morning. So that is going to be one of the main areas I'm watching today on gold. Is right over here, 40.96 to 40.90. That's going to be an area of support. There's an area of resistance overnight. It's the area we've been watching. So that's our prep zone that we're going to keep an eye on XAU USD today or GC Gold Futures. Gold futures, same area, around 4,100 to 4,106. What's up, Sadiq? Good morning, guys. So let's take a look at our market fundamentals and see what is actually moving gold right now. Do those headlines really weigh that heavily, or are we still looking for a bit of a swing trading bearish bias? Sadiq, Yosef, good morning, guys. Good morning. The day trading bias on GC is slightly bearish. Escalating U.S. strikes and missile attacks on Iran's ports. We got to remember, man, this is still, the attacks are still going on. As much as a headline wants to come out and say they were going to have peace talks, the U.S. just attacked them very recently, just the other day. Continued tanker and shipping attacks in Strait of Hormuz. And don't forget, they did talk about bringing back the blockade. So what I do want to do, and what we can all do, using market is come to the search tab, go under high impact, and we can look up blockade or even block. Block will also give us what we're looking for. Yeah, because look, we'll block Strait of Hormuz. Now it's going to give us a little bit of both. So here's that Trump headline about Trump suggests potential reimposition of blockade on Iran in the Strait. So that was still 22 hours ago. There have been no updates on that. Morning, good morning. Trump rules out full-scale war with Iran, threatens tenfold retaliation for shipping attacks. Tehran replies it will block Hormuz Strait if U.S. strikes. This was 16 hours ago. So let's look up now Iran. We're going to look up the keyword Iran here in our high impact tab. We're going to see Again, have there been any major headlines? Have there been attacks? Have there been peace talks? What are we looking for to help us then do our top-down analysis in the market? So Iranian Navy says Tehran increased vessel transit in past 2 weeks. Okay, so increasing the vessel transit in past 2 weeks. U.S. action seriously disrupts Strait reopening process, of course. Iran's Revolutionary Guard says Navy says Tehran increased vessel transit in the last 2 weeks. Okay, we did just see that one there. A little bit of a duplicate headline. Crushing response to U.S. interference. Okay. Iran's Revolutionary Guard says foreigners have no stake in Strait of Hormuz. So again, this is sort of circles back. Oh, unemployment. Good call on that, famous. This comes back to the whole U.S. wanting to put a blockade there, possibly getting a deal where they get some type of cut or some type of fee for using the strait, even though it is not in U.S. territory. Well, this is just Iran sticking to their guard, saying it's not going to happen. And we even saw in that first peace deal, or the MOU, that the U.S. was ready to give them $300 billion. So is the U.S. going to get access to the Strait of Hormuz in a sense of they're going to get a fee when people use it? Most likely, absolutely not. Iran's Revolutionary Guard says reinforces, has a stake. Okay. Explosions heard near Bandar Abbas in Gulf. Iran's mayor says news report. This was 56 minutes ago. So there's still explosions going off. Jordan intercepted 8 missiles launched from Iran. No casualties or damage, thank goodness. Finally, something a little good. But let's take a look. I know you guys said unemployment rate, so we'll keep an eye on that. Let's take a look at our economic calendar right now. We have 30 seconds. Pretty good timing on that flip. Let's turn off our none. We don't need soybean. Thank you very much. Initial jobless claims. What do you guys got? Under, over? I feel like we're betting. Let's take a look at how it's going to impact our ES and gold. So it's going to impact our equities and our asset gold the same way. So if it's above expected, if it's below expected, so if it's above expected, it'd be bearish. Below, it would be bullish. Right now, it's forecasted at 218. Prior was 215, and it is lower than expected. But remember, guys, it's not just about is it higher or lower than expected. It's also about is it within the minimum and maximum range. And 215 falls right in that minimum and maximum range of 210 to 225. So this is not going to be one of those news events that gives markets a crazy move. And we can go back to our charts right now and see markets are not giving us a crazy move. So, it's funny, we circle back to how we were the other day, and I was telling you guys how it's just as important to know when to trade as it's important to know when not to trade. So let's take a look one more time at those headlines. The initial jobless claims. So again, lower than expected. Below would be bullish, but below if it's in 214 to 210. 215 barely hits that threshold. My apologies. So we'll keep an eye on that. Existing home sales is at 10 a.m. as well. These are not going to be big catalysts or big moving headlines. So we just, keep them in mind, but don't weigh your entire bias on them. Take a look at gold for a moment. Gold's still given a possible bearish sentiment, slightly bullish on the daily as we are trying to hold. Let's take a look real quick at our higher time frame on gold and see where we really are holding if we're holding. So at this point, in my opinion, I'm seeing this resistance area, right? And we know we moved down from there. Now the question becomes, do we want to continue lower, or we're at that point sort of where the ES was at too, where we're making lower lows. Now ES was the other way. ES was making higher highs, higher lows. Now gold has been making lower lows, lower highs, this whole move lower. So here's another lower low. Here's a lower high. So now comes the question, does gold want to stay below this recent lower high, which is right over here? I'm actually going to move that previous day high level. So if gold can sweep this this pivot over here, so we'll call this lower high, LH, that's a lower high. So if we manage to get back to this lower high price level, then we know that we're getting that market shift in gold, along with some fundamentals trying to shift as well. So we'll keep an eye on that. In my opinion, I still don't think we've had that big fundamental shift just yet, but we'll keep an eye, right? Keep a very close eye, see how markets want to react. What we can also look for today, guys. Now, obviously, we're already above the open price here on GC, and I will mark out XAU USD for you guys too. So make sure you guys run that like button up. Moth, good morning. Mariri, what's going on? Ryan, Elisa, good morning. Hope you guys are doing well. We're going to make some money today. Make some money, learn and earn. So we had this area. Let's see. So let's mark out. This was that supply area, that huge daily area that we were looking at. And we're going to fade it out a little bit because it's a very large zone. We don't want to get so focused on an area that's 100 points wide where our stop loss is ridiculous. Whereas this zone is a lot more realistic, and this zone also has given us an area of rejection already. Now, this is the 4 hour, so we started on the daily. We're going to break it down to the 4 hour, the 2 hour. Also, this is great. I'm glad we came to the 2 hour because now we're seeing a new zone was created off of that original area. So now we're seeing overlapping supply, overlapping resistance points. This zone right here that was support, price chopped around, chopping through it again. Markets do not care about this area. Therefore, we do not care about this area. Good morning, guys. Sarah, good morning. Here we go. We have a 2 hour demand area. So we have some support right down here as well. Demand 4080. That's on GC 4080. And we'll take a look at XAU USD. Very similar zone right down over here, 4065. 4 hour. We even have it on the 4 hour here. So short term, I'm thinking we're bullish on gold. Again, short term, we have to remember that we are day traders for the most part in here. So if you're taking a trade, you want to look for that current trend. You want to look for that current momentum. Whereas we could have that higher time frame be a bit more bearish, obviously, but then have an intraday pullback. We've seen on intraday pullbacks. We get them here, 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 here. So they happen, but they don't tend to live that long. So what are we looking for? Possible intraday pullback. See if we're short-term bullish today. Find some longs off of support and then take it from there. Now, we'd still like to see on the XAU USD us come down to that 4090. 4090 is that area that I'm keeping an eye on. What I would really like to see is if we could scale above that previous day high and either try to hold or retest to the range. So we'll keep an eye on that as well. Hourly time frame, 2 hour. Right now what I'm looking for is I'm looking to see if we have any areas of resistance at this recent pivot. Because if we reject this pivot, then guess what? You guys already know. Lower high, lower high. We swept this low, so lower low, lower high, lower low. And then if we hold this previous day high, if we do not break previous day high, we are still looking for short-term bearish here on gold today. If we sweep that previous day high, then I would have a bit more confidence in the short-term bulls today. Let's see. We have another area of support right down here. Beautiful, right near our previous day low. So now when we come up with these levels, these areas that price has used as support or resistance, these key level zones, you don't have to use them as, okay, price returned to it, I have to go long. No, you could use them as short targets, whereas let's say we took a short off of the break of this low, we could use that as take profit 1, look for a reaction, re-entry for a short, and then use the bottom as take profit 2, or the next area as take profit 2. Nil, what's going on, brother? Yes, sir. We're going to cover it, man. I know, dude. We're looking for gold right now. Swing trading was still slightly bearish in market, but we are getting that bit of a shift. I remember you were also mentioning you're looking for that shift in gold as well. So escalating U.S. strikes and missile attacks in Iran, we know that this is going to be more of a bearish sentiment. We've seen the reaction on gold before, on equities before, when the war picks back up. So we haven't really had, we had the small headline about peace talks, but nothing strong enough, in my opinion, that's really going to flip markets right now. Initial jobless claims came out. That was a little below forecast, which would be bearish on the NASDAQ and bearish on gold as well. But as we know, guys, the fundamentals, the initial jobless claims comes out every Thursday. So that comes out every week. It is not as important and impactful as a report like CPI, PPI. These are inflationary reports, or unemployment, non-farm payroll. These are employment style reports. These are the big reports that will tell the Fed, hey, it's time to shift, hey, it's time to hold, hey, it's time to cut. Right now, if we do look at our rates and central bank tab over here, it's going to tell us in July, we have an 81% chance that we have no change. So the odds have been definitely bouncing around. At some point, we were sitting at a 90% chance of no change. It's decreasing. We see a little bit of an equity curve there on our in July. September, on the other hand, come all the way down to 57%. It's almost a 50-50 chance that we get at least one rate hike by September. So markets are starting to move, starting to price things in. We know markets are always forward looking, so something to keep in mind. Our general markets tab, let's take a look real quick. So our general markets, we're seeing a 49, so neutral outlook on our ES and MQ markets. So we still want to be very careful there. Tactical rotation from havens coming out of gold, like we said. Mega cap AI growth bid. Despite higher policy expectations, global investors continue adding to AI-linked mega cap tech. So guys, the whole AI bubble thing. We don't want to be doomsayers. Oh, we're going to pop. It's going to sell off. We're going to crash. We're going to crash. No, we want to go off of the fundamentals. We want to go off of the actual reports that are moving markets, the actual Fed interest odds, things like that that actually have an impact on markets. Just saying something's going to happen doesn't mean it's going to happen. Just saying we're in an AI bubble doesn't mean it's true. So until we start seeing actual weakness in big tech, until we start actually seeing a pause in the acceleration of all of this revenue that these big tech companies are creating from and with AI, then there really is no say of the bubble's starting to pop or things are starting to slow down. We need to see that shift before we actually get a shift. We can't just drop out of nowhere. What is the 18 score? So the 18 score over here, this is our Trump tracker. So right now, Trump tracker is a low probability. He has very low odds of really doing or saying anything that will make or break these markets. Now, of course, this goes off of the fact that he has very little scheduled today. So it does not take into consideration the fact that he is a little tweet happy lately, and he has been going on with a bunch of things with Iran as well. In this market, AI, Pakistan stocks are also there. I believe so. It depends on which ones you're looking for. We'll take a look. You have any tickers you want to check? Let's see. So gold, guys, we're going to be definitely looking for a bit more of a bearish if we stay below that previous day high. But if we can get above that previous day high, which we're trying to approach right now, then we're looking for those bulls. But here's that 30-minute rejection. I would say this whole area right here, price has been trying to reject. We have a big volume spike right here too. So we'll keep an eye on 41.30 here on XAU USD. So what did you say? KSE 100. Let's take a quick look. I'll let you know. No, I don't see KSE 100. Let's see. What's up, Elisa? Says, good morning. Hey, so how do we know how all of these stats are going to move the market? You have to be great experience. Not so much. How do I use market? So it depends on the report that you're looking at, but a lot of the times, I would say almost 100% of the time, if you're looking at a specific report on market, it has something that will tell you how it'll impact. So let's say you're looking at a headline and you're looking at U.S. Trade Representative Greer. You'll see final action very soon on Brazil. And you're wondering, okay, well, how does that actually impact the pair that I'm looking at or the instrument that I'm trading? You'd hit the brain icon. Brain icon's going to give you that summary. Risk off. So risk off, we know it is selling. Risk off for Brazil-linked assets and mildly risk off for broader EM as markets brace for imminent U.S. tariff or sanction action. So here we go. Tariffs are re-entering the conversation if the war situation calms down. The main channel is trade disruption and higher impact costs, which would pressure Brazil's growth, corporate margins, and the real while adding a small inflation tailwind to U.S. goods tied to Brazil. And adding the real, interesting. So yeah, if you have a headline you don't understand, you're hitting that brain icon, it's telling you exactly what you need to know. Risk on is buying, is bullish. Risk off is bearish. They even have it where it shows red or green on those words, so you know as well if it is bullish or bearish. Then it also gives you related coverage, any headlines that are related to that one that you're reading right now. As for the economic data, to know how that's going to impact markets, we could come over to CPI. So CPI is going to be next Tuesday, and we'll be covering that here on Market in the Morning. You could hit the brain icon. Say, okay, core CPI. This is a key input for central bank rate decisions, signals overall economic strength and trends. So how does it impact? We check our playbook. We could see our playbook on CPI. If it is above expectations, then it is bullish for the dollar, which we know if it's bullish for the dollar, it's going to be bearish for gold. What's really cool is you could choose the asset that you want to see the market will have a reaction to. So we could look at gold and say, okay, if we're above expectations, bearish on gold. If we're below expectations, bullish on gold. So that's how you use the playbook to understand above or below, is it bullish or bearish? And then you could come over here to your minimum and maximum and look at where that minimum and maximum are. Right now, we covered this yesterday. The minimum and maximum on CPI is an extremely tight window, 2.8 to 2.9. If we hit our brain icon and look at our recent CPI report, said actual was at 2.9. So we do want to keep a pretty close eye on that, see how it comes out. Does it hit that 2.8 area that is giving us a 53% chance here in the prediction market? Or does it come to 2.9, which is a 36% chance? Now, 2.7 lower than expected is very low on the probabilities, only a 10% chance that that actually happens. So we're most likely going to be within that range, as 53% is 2.8. 36% is 2.9. If we combine those, then we know that that is an 89% chance that we're within that range. So we'll keep a very close eye on that. That is CPI coming out next Tuesday. Today we had initial jobless claims. This was within the minimum and maximum. It was, however, below expectations, which is bullish on the dollar, and we know bearish on gold. So again, if we stay below that previous day's high, we can look for short. Ooh, nice rejection there. So just be patient. Don't be forcing, don't be jumping. I do like possible shorts off of this area up here. We could update our volume profile to our, let's find our Thursday at 6 p.m. Where were we? We're on Thursday now, so we want to find Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern. That's the beginning of our futures market. And we're going to delete that out. We see we're very range bound. We want to sell high, buy low. That's what we're going to be looking at. Alicia, yeah, I hope that broke down your question for you. By the way, those highlighted words are good for, yeah, absolutely. Yep, good call. Good call. I know you were the one with the idea for the glossary yesterday. That was great, great idea. Or we could have it somewhere over here. Trading dictionary, something like that. So let's see, interest rate tracker. I'm a big fan of checking the interest rate tracker. I feel like we all should be at this point, especially seeing how heavily the economy and the stock market weighs the odds of that rate cut. Now, let's see. So looking at July, we have, like we said, we have that 81% chance of no change. A decrease is only at 0.5% chance, so that's definitely not going to happen. An increase is sitting at 17% chance, so it has been rising, right? At some point, it was only about, let's see if we could hover over, it was only a 10%, so it is increasing. So we'll keep a close eye on that. That is July's interest rate tracker. Right now, if we're looking at something like, let's pull gold back up, finding that area of resistance. And if we are looking for shorts, we know we want to be targeting that 40.90 on XAU USD. I do think shorts are okay in this area. Just for a quick little move, there's a 2-to-1 risk to reward right there. Stay patient. We'll let markets come to us a little bit here. 15-minute time frame, just all range bound, right? We know what barcoding price action looks like, and that's this right here. So this is, again, an idea of sell the highs, buy the lows, but don't sell in the middle over here. Or buy in the middle. How long do you usually wait for to enter a position after market open? So it definitely depends. If markets are opening or right near an area of interest that I've had mapped out before, then I'm okay with taking that quick trade right off the open. If we're not, then I'd much rather let markets continue until we do get to those predetermined areas. So gold holds around 4,100 as renewed Gulf strikes lift oil and yield. So that's something else to keep an eye on. Is oil still moving higher? If oil's still moving higher, that will still help me on a more bearish bias on something like gold and NASDAQ and S&P 500 as well. So oil holds near highs as Hormuz shipping halts amid U.S.-Iran strikes. So this oil is going to be the most sensitive. Oil will definitely be giving us some strong insights. If we're looking at oil here, we can click one of these candles. We could see, has anything major been going on? So what do we have? What happened? Middle East escalation lifted crude on supply disruption fears. We always talk about supply and demand in forms of trading, but supply and demand is market auction theory. Supply and demand is how markets move, is how things are priced in every market, not just the stock market. Real estate market supply and demand matters. If there's more houses for sale, then there is more buyers, and those people selling, they have to lower their prices to try to draw in that interest from those buyers. Whereas if there are more buyers than sellers, they're going to up their price because they know that there's heavy competition. So Middle East escalation, we know that. Move started on explosion reports before the candle opened. Iran missile and siren headlines reinforced geopolitical risk premium. Maritime insurance costs rose for Hormuz crossing, supporting oil. Okay, so now they're saying it's more expensive for them to cross through Hormuz when it is open. This is a red flag for oil. Things are going to get more expensive. Remember, when big companies have to spend more money, that money gets passed on. They don't want to front that bill. They pass it on to you. Kevin, have you you base your entries on the 15-minute time frame? What time frame do you enter on? So I like the 5-minute and 15-minute are usually ideal. So 5 for an entry, 15-minute just for overall bias. So 15 minutes to say, okay, look, we're making higher highs, higher lows, or I'm finding one of those strong areas or order blocks that we have. And then the 5-minute for that entry criteria. Now, we can also keep an eye on the dollar, see where the dollar is right now in relation to this big key level that we've had for quite some time now. I don't know if you guys remember, but this was a level that Nolab mentioned, and this was weeks and weeks ago. If we take a look right here, this was about 20 days ago, so about 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, we had this move. We held it as support 1, 2, 3, almost 4 times. Then we broke and we held it as resistance. We tried to chop through and we failed. At this point, we're trading on it as well. I would really want to see where is the dollar in relation to this zone. If we stay below it on the dollar, I will try to remain more bullish on gold. If we do move higher here on the dollar, then obviously that's going to support our bearish trade on gold. Because the dollar is such a fast moving asset too, though, something I do want to keep an eye on is going to be that daily time frame, the hourly time frame, just overall trend on the dollar. And right now, what are we seeing? We're seeing it is very range bound, but it's almost flagging out before the next big move. I would think the dollar is trying to find that strength to continue. Remember, it's all about timing in the market and your time in the market. So that is gold. That is oil. We got some good stuff. We'll go over that in a little bit, Melvin, for sure. For sure. Gold on market shows resistance at 41.31. So which factor determines whether you sell actually at 41.31 or at the current wick of 41.20? I'm trying to understand the determining factor on entry. Fantastic question right there. So let me pull up gold for you guys and break this question down, because that's a question that a lot of people are going to have, right? So 41.31, it's a great area, but something we have to remember is that market is going to give you those zones, right? Those areas of interest to keep an eye on, but overall market's going to be giving us the fundamentals, the reasoning, and the live headlines, and of course the economic data. So with that being said, we have to do our own technical analysis, our own market analysis to determine, yes, this is the area I want to go short, or do I want to wait for, yes, one of those areas that market recommended. I would not say, oh, use market and you don't have to do your own technical analysis anymore, because we still have to find that confidence in ourselves that we're trusting the system that we're trading. So use market as something to lean on. Use market as something to confirm what you're already looking at. Don't use market to do all the heavy lifting. It does do all the heavy lifting in terms of breaking down fundamentals, breaking down headlines, notifying you when something important is going on. So it is extremely helpful there. But in terms of how do you know when and where to short, you're going to be doing your own analysis for the most part to find those levels and areas. Really nice reaction off of that zone here on gold to the downside. So we're just going to be patient on that. If you guys do see a short opportunity, same situation with when you're watching these streams, guys. If I'm saying I like this area for a rejection, but I'm also saying that I'm not taking the trade yet, but you completely agree with it. You're like, wow, this is a great spot. That was a great fast reaction. I do want to try this short with a stop at the high. Absolutely go for it. But you have to know those few things that we went over yesterday. You have to know if I take this trade and if I lose, not even if I lose, when I lose, because at some point you're going to take a losing trade, is this loss going to blow out all of my winners? Is this loss going to blow my account? If you're taking a trade where if it goes into drawdown just a little bit and you're freaking out and try to close it out before it even hits your stop loss, then you're way too heavy in size on that trade. You need to size down. And sizing down is no problem, guys, because all that matters is you have a proper risk to reward. You could risk $100 per trade, make $400 per trade, lose 2 trades in a row, win your third, and still be in profit by $200. So start small. You can always leverage higher. Starting high is where a lot of traders go wrong and just find themselves making mistake after mistake and can't fix it because they're too emotionally attached to their capital. Let's see what else we got. Market should inform your decisions. Exactly. Yo, can somebody pin that? Somebody, that's perfect. Market should inform your decisions, not make them. That is beautifully said. Well said. I couldn't have said it better myself. Very good. Very good. Hizzy, what's going on? Asking, what's your stance on Euro USD? Well, let's check on Euro USD. And if you're down with OPP, yeah, you know me. All right, a little song reference in there for you guys. Euro USD steadies near 1.14 as oil surges, lifts ECB hawkish tone. So right off the bat, the first thing I'll notice here on Euro USD is the fact that we're not looking at a slightly bullish swing bias and a slightly bullish day trading. We're looking at a bullish day swing trading, a bullish day trading. This is a very, very strong index right now. Strong Forex, I should say. So let's take a look at our Euro USD. We'll cover it real quick. If you guys ever have any questions, ever want to go over any charts, please let me know. Always happy to help. Looks like I got a big area in here myself for Euro USD. Oh, beautiful. I remember this. Yeah, we did this analysis quite some time ago, and I marked out this 114 area, and I said I'd want to see price spike it and create some higher lows, and that's exactly what we did. Wow, that was from probably 20 days ago? 16 days ago. So we'll keep an eye. We spiked it. We're starting to create these higher lows now. So look, it was more bearish. It was creating lower lows, lower highs, lower low, lower low, lower high, lower low. And now we're creating a higher low, higher high, higher low. So now what we're looking for is we're looking for Euro USD to continue. Market just helped confirm our trend. Now we can look to see, will it find support near this consolidation point and move its way higher again and continue on this current bullish trend of higher highs and higher lows. So if you are looking for a trade on Euro USD, your line in the sand that I like to mention is going to be this recent pivot of 113.912. So that is going to be your most recent higher low. If we fail that, then guess what? Our bullish technical analysis fails because then we're making a lower low. Whereas if we hold it, the bullish analysis continues, the fundamentals secure that as well, and we're able to continue on higher. So that is one of the main areas that I'm watching on Euro USD here. If you guys want, we can keep an eye on that throughout the day. I am looking to see if there's any areas of support down here that we could look for a possible entry. Only one I really see is near those lows. So right down over here. And what we can do is we could actually fade. We could delete this. No longer necessary right there. Perfect. So now we deleted it. We know that this area I will keep. This was a very strong zone. Let me delete some of these drawings here. I think we had another question in there. Hey Kev, I remember Nalab mentioning he will do a vid on optimal entry. Yes, he probably will. Nalab, are you still in here, brother? Nalab, if you're still in here, let us know. Drop a holler. If you're still in here, let me know. I'll send you the invite. All right, so Euro USD, we're bullish off those fundamentals. We're bullish off of our levels, bullish off the technicals. That's how you use market to not just confirm, but to inform your decisions. I love that so much. That's amazing. Let's see. Hey Kev, does using volume profile actually work on CFD broker charts? Since most CFD brokers use feeding price, wouldn't using it on GC features make more sense? It definitely depends on the broker that you're using and the charting platform that you're using. So what we saw with XAU, USD, and GC is that the volume profiles tend to be very similar. So I wouldn't say that it's completely swayed, but for other Forex pairs, again, it depends on the broker. If you're using a sketchy broker that doesn't have proper volume analysis, then yeah, you're most likely not going to get consistent volume profiles and good reads on the market. GC, let's see. This is GC right now, and we knew that we were rejecting this area over here. I'm gonna mark that out with our supply zone. Nice rejection, man. Nice move. Very quick move off of that. Still moving lower. The area I would want to see, and we're going to see today on GC, is going to between 4090 and 4100. So remember, that 4090 was the area we were looking for yesterday. Well, now look at this. VWAP is starting to line up in there too. There's our dual confirmation. On top of that, we have our market fundamentals giving us that swing trading slightly bullish, supporting a possibility of that bullish move here on that daily, on this intraday. So I will be keeping a close eye for some gold longs when we do come back down to this area of support around 4106. Now, if you are in shorts, you can be looking to target 4106 and even look to possibly target that next pivot low over here. Now, if you're not in a position and you're waiting, then you can wait for price to move lower and wait for a pullback to go short over there. Oh, not there. You'd be going short on the pullback. So just an area of interest, something to keep a very close eye on. I think there was another question. When we have done the review of assets, can you please explain COT? I know you said you don't use it too much, but I find it interesting. For sure, absolutely, we can. Drop a COT in the chat in a little bit. We will cover that as well. Let's see. Here's a good question too. Why is gold showing a bearish on market, even though we have renewed talks? Also, midterms, Trump would most likely look to settle war rather than drag it on. So it definitely depends on which side he cut it, right? So you would think he would want to settle the war before midterm so he can make himself look like the good guy. Look at this, look at all I did, this is great. But he can also still, like we've seen in the past, use it as a bit of a distraction tactic where the war is still going on. How could we focus on midterms right now? The war is going on. I forget what law, but there's something that the president could instate if there's an active war going on that pushes back any type of election. So there's also the idea of that. So there's a few things lining up there. In terms of peace talks being back on the table, we really only got the one headline. And we'll even look, let's see. Let's look up Iran. Let's see if we have those talks. So explosions heard, drone attacks. I mean, I think there was like one headline about, and we can check our high impact. It's probably under here. Yep, here we go. 7 hours ago, Iran called a while ago. They want to make a deal. So again, it all depends on how markets are perceiving these headlines. Are markets hearing these headlines and going, of course he's saying that. That's the billionth time he's saying that. What matters is the actual strikes that are going on, the actual moves that are happening in the strait. Him saying yesterday that he will reinstate that blockade. So it's very 50-50 in terms of what markets want to react to. So we want to be a bit patient on that end. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll let markets come to us. That's also why we have that slightly bullish on the daily, because we're trying to hold those higher lows. But day trading, we're still looking for that more short-term bearish. But like I mentioned, guys, we can easily see a move higher today and breach that previous day high, make our way back towards 41.57. So that would also be a trade setup I'm looking for, a break and retest of this area to go long. But as long as we stay below it, I'd look for short. So using that analysis, using the market levels, because market gave us that 41.38. Are we on GC or XAU? We're on XAU. So let's look at XAU over here. 41.31. And we had our own levels, and our level look at that, guys, lines up with 41.31. So this is also what I love with the market and the levels it gives. So yes, let it inform your decision. Let it give you that confidence in the bias. But if your level lines up with one of those market levels too, then that's just an also added form of support and confirmation on your trade. And now it's a confirmation on your price level too. So 41.30. We will see, and we will see if we can make our way back up there. If we don't, we don't. If we do, we do. Now let's take a look back at gold. Let's take a look into the NASDAQ, guys. We covered gold for a little bit there. Let's see where equities are at. Equities ended up turning back around. We had that huge sell-off yesterday. Now this was 4 a.m. If we click that, we know what that was. This was the risk-off sell-off as Trump declares Iran ceasefire and MOU over. So that's something else to keep in mind. Sure, he could say this morning that Iran called and they want to make a deal, but he already issued and declared, right? He declared that the ceasefire and the MOU is over. So any peace talks we've had have now been swept off the table, and we're starting from square one again here. So just something to keep in mind. Things haven't really settled down. We're still in the middle of that nowhere area. Yeah, oil, great call. Oil, yep, we're looking at oil before. If oil remains higher, we want to stay more bearish on equities and gold as well. Take a look at oil here. Yo, look at this, guys. This was that long call yesterday on oil. It was a 2-to-1 risk to reward we gave you guys. And the price target was that market target of $76 even. Look how perfect it hit that 76 and rejected. Since then, we have broken the zone. This area is no longer relevant. Great oil call out yesterday, though. Very nice move. Went up $2 from there. Very clean. This broken supply, we could delete that. Markets have used it already, no longer relevant. And we could check our daily time frame just to see that general momentum. So I'd still like to see oil remain above this price level. That now becomes our previous day low. So here's our PDL here on oil. I'm going to mark that out with some text. Previous day low. And now we're going to copy that, paste it. That's going to be our previous day high. So same situation. What have we been seeing on oil? Well, what we've been seeing for the past couple of days now is broke previous day high. We closed higher, we closed green. Broke previous day high, we closed higher, we closed green. At this point, what are we doing today, ladies and gentlemen? Where is oil right now? Oil is in the middle of its previous day's range. So if you take any trades before we can actually break one of those sides, you're going to be trading a range. Be very careful and patient on that. Is this a good place to place a trade on oil? Let's take a look and see. Oil, I do like this support area that we had. Mark that out with our demand right above our previous day low. We tapped it already. 2-hour time frame. Yeah, I would like to see 72.50 on oil for a possible pullback first. I wouldn't want to go long at random on something like oil. We would also possibly be looking for, where's my Market AI integration? Where is that? Market. Bro, it's lost. It's missing. Oh, no, Lab, if you're still in here, let me know. Maybe they're working on something. I don't know where my market integration went. Install. We have it there. Oh, there it is. It's hiding in plain sight. Take a look at our headlines. Always want to keep our headlines available. 100%, man. Especially if you're looking to trade oil, we get one headline that says anything about a blockade on the strait, anything about attacks going on in the Strait of Hormuz, anything oil related, we're going to look for some longs on oil. And why? Because we've been seeing that price action start to pick up again. And not only that price action, fundamentals flipping more bullish on oil again because of the strait, because of the attacks, because of the ceasefire ending. And we're also seeing volume enter oil as well. And we know volume followed by price moving higher is a confirmation to that trend. So be very careful there on oil. Would like to possibly see a pullback, like I said, towards 72.38. You take a look at market. Yo, look at that, man. Market gives us 72.24. That's right in that zone I was looking for. So great pullback area for oil to go long. So keep a very close eye on that. All right, let's take a look at NASDAQ here. NASDAQ, we have some resistance. We have day trading slightly bearish. As you guys know, yesterday we had a bit more of a bearish bias on NASDAQ as well. But look at where we are. We've completely scaled through this price level we marked out yesterday where Trump bombed Iran and market sold off from overnight. This was 420. We moved lower. We sold off about how many points? 500 points to the downside, and then made our way back up 800 points to the upside. So what are we doing today? We're going to be using that same level that we used for those shorts. We're going to be using that for longs today. So I'd like to see if we can find some bullishness today. Really want to be extra patient though. You know, we made this checklist yesterday too about where inflation is currently sitting, the US-Iran tensions picking back up, the Fed being more hawkish. We could check our Fed Watch tool and see Fed Watch 20 days. It's going to be Wednesday, the 29th of this month. Compare. So 1 day ago, 31%, now 28%. Not the biggest of impacts, not the biggest of changes. It did increase a little bit for holding rates steady by September, but nothing massive, right? Nothing that's going to be a game changer to the markets we're currently seeing right now. While we're here on the daily time frame, we'll update our previous day high and previous day low on NASDAQ. So here's our previous day high. Here is our previous day low. Look at this pivot. We broke this pivot already. So what do we know? We know we're trying on NASDAQ to break lower lows. We know that overall trend, just like market is telling us, is more slightly bearish on the NASDAQ. And it's only slightly bullish on the swing trading. So not enough to say, hey, look at our daily time frame right here. Does it look like we're really going to run another 500 points from here when we already moved 400 points today? Okay, well then we want to be a little patient and realistic with the market. Now, if we were using, right, so if I am looking for bulls, we know that these key levels, 30,000, 30,300, are extremely strong price targets. So I would be keeping a close eye on that. We also know off of just coming back every day that NASDAQ has been reacting to that opening price level a lot lately. So we could take a look at, let's see if we pull up our 2 hour, our 1 hour, let's see, 30-minute. I'm looking to see if there's any areas of support down here. Now, something we note is how choppy we were on this move up. So I would think that we're going to see a bit of a pull towards the downside from there. Just don't have a good resistance point that we're rejecting right now. Hourly, not really. 2 hour, not really. And then 4 hour. We do have this one right up here. So this could be our next price target. And look at that, guys. That lines up with that 29,896 4 hour supply, 30,000 key level. And if we look at our market, look at that 29,854 right up in that area. 30,100 is that other area as well. So we'll be keeping a close eye on that. Okay, new idea. Would be great to see if there was an asset. When we click on market, it will show you the news related to that asset. What do you mean by that? So with so we do have right now, so if you click an asset right now, we're on NASDAQ, you can come down here, and for the what's supporting the bias and what could flip the bias, it does pull those ideas and these breakdowns from the headlines We do have a filter though, so you could turn on the filter and say, okay, I just want to see things that impact the S&P and NASDAQ. And now you have your filter on. So there is the filter. You can use filter for that, for sure. We should also make it like you could search it. That'd be pretty cool too. But yeah, filters is going to be what you're looking for. What time frame do you draw your supply and demand? Would love a technical breakdown, higher time frame to lower time frame. Yeah, for sure. So higher time frame, I always like to start on a daily time frame, just to see that overall general direction. Here's some headlines right here. Fed Williams, inflation is still too far high. It's still far too high. Williams reinforces a hawkish Fed bias. Sticky inflation keeps hike expectations elevated, pressuring bonds and equities. Oh yeah, look at all that pressure we're seeing right here. So again, something to keep in mind. Again, knowing that the Fed's not switching to dovish, we're staying hawkish, possible hold instead of a hike, but still on that hawkish route. So be patient, be careful, let markets come to us, and keep a very close eye on those headlines. I feel like this is going to be another day that's going to be driven by major headlines. Yeah, filter's good, cool. No, what the heck is with gold? I can't understand. I can't understand it. I can't trade it. Yeah, so listen, sometimes markets are going to be a bit more up in the air in terms of that consistency, in terms of that general trend off the fundamentals, because it's called mixed data, right? So like we got was it last week or the week prior? I think it was last week when we had non-farm payroll. We had non-farm payroll and unemployment, and it gave us a mixed report. One was leaning more bearish on equities. One was leaning more bullish on equities. One was leaning more bearish, more hawkish. One was leading a bit more dovish. So we had that mixed report. That's what happens. And then that usually leads to something like we see here with gold, where it's a swing trading slightly bearish, slightly bullish, day trading slightly bearish. So we do want to keep a very close eye on that and see the reaction, see how markets hold from here. Yo, good morning, Brandon. What's going on, man? How are you? Also an integration that will overlay the market levels on my charts in real time. That would be pretty cool too. That would be pretty cool. But you know what? Market only gives a few zones, so it doesn't take too long to mark them out. So 41.33, 41.90. If we came over to market over here, came over to our trading view, we could just mark that out. 41, what did we say? 41.33, 41.90. So 41.33. That's right where we are right now. And what you can do is you could call it market, like a market level. Make it yellow so it sticks out. And then on TradingView, if you have a tool selected and you have your settings bar up for it, you can hit the three buttons and you hit clone. And then it gives you another drawing just like it. We're going to bring that one up to then 41.90. And now we have our market levels. Now, if we could surpass and break above my level that I found and the market level that we found, then great, we're going to look to target that next market level. It's just a few things to keep a very close eye on. Piyush, what's going on? I took 2 losses on break even, calling it a day. Don't want to donate my money by chasing sells. Already got burned twice. Very smart man. Very smart man. If your trade setups are not working out, know when to call it a day. Great job moving stops to break even and not forcing trades, though. There's that push back into this zone. Again, one of the reasons I'm not over here just chasing trades. But we will see. We will see. What else we got, ladies and gentlemen? Drop some likes, drop some comments. What are we cooking with? You know what? I think we all want market to take our trades with us. Not yet. One day we're going to get there. She's probably referring to market ready. Yeah, exactly. Market ready markers. Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, possibly. Gold is going to be a great sell position, not financial advice. We'll see. I hope so. I would want to see gold. I'd want to see those sellers take control again and us remain below that previous day low. Because if we can remain below that previous day high, I would want to see us move back towards the open on gold. Unfortunately, here on the daily, it does look like we're trying to create some higher lows here. Fed Williams, Fed actively debating scenarios around inflation. Okay, now here's a report. Hit our brain icon, see how that's impacting, see what that means for us. Risk off for rate-sensitive assets and modestly supportive for the dollar. So we know if it's supporting the dollar, can lead to a bit more bearish on gold. But we have to remember too that this is just a headline. This is not an actual news report. This is a headline from Fed Williams. This is not like Kevin Warsh is coming out saying we're looking to hike rates sometime. This is Fed Williams' perspective on markets, which is important to know anyways because all of these different feds have a vote in the FOMC, but it's not something that's important, that's enough, that's going to make or break markets right now. Like, we're not going to see a Fed Williams headline and have markets completely dump 50 points against us on gold. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, great. Elise has got great suggestions, great ideas. Oil taking a bit of a dump here. That's what we wanted to see, a pullback on oil to this zone right over here for possible longs, as long as we do keep that bullish fundamental bias. The dollar is, look at that, guys. The dollar rejected that 101.04 area over here. So keep a close eye. Dollar moving lower. We know that supports gold to the upside. Gold is moving higher here. New high of day on gold. S&P and NASDAQ, we could run through those real quick too. S&P, NASDAQ, these assets, I want to look for longs somewhere, for the NASDAQ at least, down over here. So around 29,500. Let's take a look at market. Yo, guys, we got our special guest joining us very soon here. We'll get his screen share going. We'll run through some charts. NASDAQ, we've got 29,550. Guys, look how perfect that lines up. I said 29,500. 29,550 is right above that zone. Market confirming my level, confirming our bias. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, where is it? Mr. Seb.
How's everybody? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How are you, brother? How are you?
All good, man. Glad to be here. Thank you for having me, Kevin.
Yes, sir, bro. Always happy to have you.
Awesome. So what are you talking about, man? Let me join you in that awesome
Yeah,
conversation.
for sure, man. For sure. So we were looking at some NASDAQ now. Hopefully we're going to see a pullback here towards that 29,550 zone. You know, I can't help but shake a more overall bearish bias still because of the Fed stance, but we know markets could pull back. We've seen it before. It's nothing new. Pullbacks are healthy. What's your stance? Where are you seeing the NASDAQ right now?
Yeah, right now, with what happened yesterday with Trump, of course, we got the war going on again, right? So,
Yep.
but as you can see with the flip watch around 7.2 hours ago, we did have Trump saying that Iran called a while ago and they want to make a deal. So we do have a lot of things weighing the markets right now. As you can see today, we were kind of slow. I was looking at gold. We did have some good bounces on market. We are on a slightly bearish market structure right now, but the buys are looking juicy, people. Now, looking at the NASDAQ, if I'm being honest with you, I'm still with a slightly bearish market structure. I would look for a retest of the resistance, which is a big probability right now. But of course, it would be better to be today more on the defensive side, not be attacking that much until we have better things, right? For example, next week we do have CPI, and that's a big one for everybody.
Yep. Yep. What are your that's funny. We went over CPI. I was teaching everybody about how to use the playbook and everything. What are your thoughts on CPI? You think we're going to find our way moving back lower with oil prices moving lower? Do you think it's going to take a little time?
You know that it's so right now we are in pre-war prices on oil, meaning that inflation has come down. But it is very important just to see. In my opinion, it will come down just a little bit, but of course, it's really important what the Feds are looking at right now, right? So,
Yep.
what are their forward guidance? Which we know Warsh is our best forward guidance member yet. He loves to tell us what is going to happen in the future, and if you didn't know, I'm being sarcastic. But yeah, but of course, it is very important now with CPI. We do have CPI year over year and month over month. As you can see, The prior figures were 4.2%. We don't have the bank forecast just yet, or the minimum and max. We do need to wait a little bit longer for that. But once we have that, we will see what's going on. We do have the prediction market regardless, which there is a 51.3% chance that we're going to come below prior figures, around 3.8%. So we are seeing the reflection of oil coming down and a little bit of the peace talks that we were having prior weeks um, actually taking effect on the inflation side. But of course, it just got reignited yesterday, not too long ago. So let's see what actually happens, right? It's going to be very interesting to see how it develops. What do you think, Kevin?
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. I think you're spot on. It's going to be interesting because right now it's up in the air. Before it was a lot more of an easier read on markets where we knew the war was escalating. We knew oil was higher. We knew gold was in a clean bear trend. At this point, it's almost like things are up in the air where we're getting some suggesting that, hey, the war is definitely ending. Then we're getting boom, we're attacking again. We're going to redo the blockade. We're going to see all these things that are going to impact oil to the upside, and then the Nasdaq, S&P, they end up moving higher anyways. So it really is becoming sort of an empty optimism, I like to see it as, where it's like, where's this optimism coming from in markets? Do institutions know something we don't? Are they forward running some type of bigger move, or are they getting markets into a better position until they're able to actually dump it? Now, again, short term wise, I would want to see, let's see, short term wise, even on the daily time frame, right? It's hard to be like, oh, we're definitely bullish on gold now just because of one green day. We've seen this whole move where we're down over 30% on gold, and we've had many times where we would even go bouts of 4 days in a row where it's bullish, 9% to the upside right here, chop around just to completely move to the downside again. So we don't want to take every little pullback and try to catch a falling knife. But because we're day traders, it's definitely important to know what's currently happening right now. What's impacting gold the strongest right now? What's impacting the NASDAQ, the dollar, all of these different assets.
I completely agree with you. I completely agree. And yeah, exactly. Like if we see right now gold, this is what I'm seeing right now. And I'm just going to have a little bit of the past as an explanation. So we did have this huge bearish move. Now, once we got to this point, let me just take out the headlines for market, which I love them. We can see that we did have a bounce in the 40-45s, and right now we're having kind of like the same thing, right? So after breaking the 4200s, we went down 40-45s and we started with a bounce. Now, I am seeing the same thing as of right now with the fundamentals aligning as well. It wouldn't be out of the ordinary to go back to the 4200s for a better sell attempt. Now, this of course can take up to next week. Right now, we are Thursday. So meaning tomorrow, Friday, Thursday and Friday, if there's nothing going on in the geopolitical sense or high impact economic events, we would for sure be ranging here. And I would look for buys to the 4200, but of course it's going to be slow and steady. It's not going to be something like if CPI comes out and then boom, gold goes up 2000 pips. That's not going to be the case, people, but of course it wouldn't be out of the ordinary. Now, why would it be the best to go with the buys right now? Because we would be going back to the resistance to the 4185, which again would not be out of the ordinary at all. Now, we do have to look at the flip watch, which of course will tell us what could happen, and it would flip the bearish bias at the moment. But of course, we are in a little bit of a pullback scenario. So looking for that better area of interest for sells would be the way to go in my eyes. What do you think, Kevin?
For sells on gold?
For sells on gold, that would be correct.
Yeah, exactly. Before I came out, I was covering the same thing. I said if we could stay below that previous day low on gold, I do think we're going to make our way back lower on the intraday level. Something I'm a big fan of is looking at that daily time frame and asking yourself, is it realistic to see another 50-point move here on gold? Or is it more realistic to see markets create that upper wick and reject back to the open price?
Facts. Exactly.
Yep.
And that upper wick would be the sell position that people would ideally want to get in, right? Of course, it's hard to say about the top, but
Yeah,
At the end of the day, you do have to take a little bit of risk as traders, maybe a lower lot. Take the first entry. If it doesn't work out, look for your next area of interest. But don't marry a trade. Don't go full party on a trade for no reason. That would be
right.
my best tip right there.
Of course, of course. And you know what? Something else too is we always want to be realistic with the market, realistic with the price action and the fundamentals and everything. Because things are so up in the air, it really can go both ways right now. We see that we're in a defined range. We're in a range on gold. We're in a range on the Nasdaq and S&P. There's not. It could go either way, and you can make a case for why it went that way.
Exactly, I completely agree. And I see that are you using the extension, Kevin?
Of course.
Oh, you want to talk a little bit about the extension?
Bro, I'd love to, man. I was talking about it earlier this week. It's absolutely killer. You know, the calendar, the live news right here on the chart, it just makes it that much easier. And then if you need more screen space, you hit the little X, but you still get the notifications for the headlines on the bottom. Amazing, bro. Amazing. I mean, what a clean piece of integration.
Exactly, I completely agree. And actually, just for the people that are here, we're gonna actually have an update on this bad boy not too long from here. So just a little teaser there. We're gonna add more stuff to the actual extension, and it's gonna benefit your trades a lot. I do promise you that, people.
That's awesome. I know I got a sneak peek of it, guys. You guys already know by now. Every update market makes is next level.
Exactly. Exactly. Right now on gold, we are breaking the 41.26. If we go to the lower time frame, we're just going to start dissecting the lower time frames a little bit better. Let's see
Sure.
here. So of course, now that we're getting into one of our areas of interest would be our key level 41.24. We do see that we do have a minor consolidation here in the 5 minute time frame. Once we start breaking above this, we're going to have a clean way to the 41.50s. Now, this is what I was talking about, people. We're still in that pullback phase and looking for a resistance like market is showing us here to the 41.31s. We're a little bit higher in the 41.50s. It wouldn't be out of the ordinary. Now, to look for a sell here, I wouldn't do it. What I would do is wait for a little consolidation area that we're going to start forming here with lower volume and volatility. Once we break above, we're not going to target the longs. We're going to start looking at our next area of interest, 41.40s, 41.45s for potential sells. Now, if we do not pass the 41.30s, of course, I would be looking to position myself with a lower lot to continue to the downside. As you know, market is with a slightly bearish market structure right now. So what I'm going to do is one of those two. This is going to be my first positioning here. I wouldn't take it right now, people. If you see that, oh, okay, we're having like a big 5 minute candle going down, which is actually a 1 minute candle, which is going to be a big one. It doesn't really tell me, okay, it's time to enter. This is just going to be a
Yep.
fake out for people on the lower time frame, and the people that are not anticipating to wait and don't have patience are going to enter here, which is going to be premature, in my opinion, right, Kevin?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We want to wait for that confirmation. Don't just take it because we're at your level.
Exactly, exactly. I completely agree with you. Now that's going to be the number one. Now number two, of course, is going to be for us to wait for the actual pull to the 41.50s. Go ahead and just put my second right here.
New York session just opened, ladies and gentlemen. Getting a bit of a dive here on
It's
equities.
open.
I'd want to see if ES here holds this recent low that we had around 75.26. If we hold this recent low, we already broke actually I have to update previous day low and high. Oh no, we haven't broken previous day high or low just yet. So still range bound. I'd want to see where oil is. Oil is still pulling back to this area that we were waiting on around 72.40. Are you keeping an eye on anything with oil?
I am. I always look at oil just to have a better understanding of what is actually happening. 1 second. Well, there's going to be the
Sure.
oil.
A
I'll
lot of
bring it up.
sellers.
Yeah, I do have it. Where is it? I don't see it. Am I blind? Hello.
Marco.
Right? Where? Yeah. Like, where's my glasses? 1 second,
Where
people. I put
where
my
my
glasses.
glass?
We're that time. We're that time of the day.
All right, Clark Kent.
Here it is. Thank you, my G. Well, of course, on oil, as you know, we are on a slightly bullish. I apologize. Um, Bias on market, but we do have to take a little bit of consideration here because we are in a 73 price handle. Again, this is prior pre-war prices. It wouldn't be out of the ordinary if we go back to the 72 support before actually going to the 76. Right now we are what I like to call oil is in a standalone, right? When you're in a war and you're in a standalone, because we don't know what might happen next. What we have to do with oil personally is have a look at the live news feed and see what is going on. If we do have things that are going to add into the narrative of slightly bullish for oil, then 100% I would look for position myself. If not, I would be a little bit more defensive on oil just because of what is going on just in geopolitical tensions as a whole.
Yeah, cool. I
What
like
do
it. I
you do
like it.
with oil?
So S&P 500 starting to hold that area that we mentioned. It is not breaking that recent low, finding some support down here of 75.35. I would want to see us try to head towards that previous day high as a price target. The VIX is also near that area. So this area right here, price is rejected to the downside multiple times. So if VIX is looking to reject lower, that would support the S&P and NASDAQ to move back higher. There's something to keep in mind there on ES and NQ. Would not be looking for shorts now. I would be looking for possible longs. Look at that. Buyers are holding very well here on ES.
Completely agree.
In the moment, would confirmation mean only a retest and or something much more? So it definitely depends on the asset that you're looking at. For myself, when I look for confirmation, it's sort of exactly what I just went over, where if the S&P is at an area of support or trying to hold a higher low, I want to be aware of where the VIX is currently trading at as well. That is a confirmation right there. VIX going inverse of the S&P and NASDAQ. Like you said too, a break and retest. Retests are also a great form of confirmation, using that recent high or low as a stop loss. What else? What else? I mean, equities. If you're trading S&P and NASDAQ, I'm a big fan of looking at overall equities. Amazon, Microsoft, individual companies, SpaceX even. SpaceX, though, has been falling out of the sky, so that's okay. Google. These are all equities that have a big pull on the S&P and NASDAQ. So we want to be aware of where those are trading as well. Great reaction off of that low on the S&P. Look at that, man, running right to that previous day high. Beautiful. Seb, what are your thoughts? What's your confirmation when you look to take a trade?
Yeah, so for gold, I would be looking at the dollar, the VIX, and gold. Of course, that's in the technical side of things. Now, for a more deeper dive, I'm of course going to read everything that Markin has to say about gold, dollar, and also the VIX, which it does give a little bit of a breakdown there. But once I do have a better understanding of what is driving the price, once I have an understanding of where dollar is being positioned right now in price, then I would be going to the lower time frame and I would dissect the same way that I did right now. Maybe first go into the 1 hour time frame so I can look into the left and I can see what levels we are respecting at the time. And if I can find something that I just did right now, right? We had this bearish move, then we had a first bounce, second bounce, and then we started going back up to the 4200s. Of course, after this weekend, you can see the big gap. After this weekend, we did have a lot of fundamental reasoning to go up on gold to the 43.45s. Now, would this be the case once we are in the same price around the 4200s? We cannot tell. What I can tell you is very simple. We can look for a very good sell position on gold with the bounces to the downside. Now, that's very, very clear and very easy to do with lower lots. Now, I do wanted to answer a little bit of questions. I saw, I was just, while you were talking, Kevin, I saw 9:27 a.m. Around 10 minutes ago. We had a question, Seb, when are we having our next live? I didn't catch up with this one. I suppose you're talking about the NFP live that we had not too long ago. Would that be correct? Because if you did, we already have that live on YouTube for free. You can just check out literally our channel right below, and you're gonna see it's one of the last ones that we uploaded. That's number one. And number two, let's go ahead and do. We do have another one, Seb. Sometimes sell instead of buy. That's pretty funny since we are looking for sells on gold. But again, we are in that little bit of pullback in my eyes. So if we start clearing the 41.26, looking for a sell in the 41.50s, it would not be out of the ordinary, people.
Yep, guys, I just posted the link right there for you for the NFP webinar. You guys can check that out right now.
Good call out, Kev.
Yes, sir.
So I have a personal question to ask. Yeah, I saw you. So how much money do you guys make on average in trading? Good month versus bad month. So
talk about personal.
Talk about personal, right? I mean,
you must be my accountant or Uncle Sam. I'm not answering that question.
Right, that would be Uncle Sam, right? I don't know. It feels weird, but I'm gonna do like a broad general explanation of how it goes. Now, it's not about how much money you make or how much money you're losing. It's more about your psychology control, because a loss can make everything go to waste on that week. So, for example, you could be doing well on Monday and Tuesday. You're up maybe $500, but on Wednesday, you took a bad trade. Then your psychology is going to force you to make another bad trade. And then those $500 are just going to go to nothing. So the best way to see this is having that mental fortitude of actually seeing that you're not making the best out of your trading session that day. If you already lost money, you know what? Let me go ahead and do something else. Get my mind off of trading, because if you keep on going, you're just gonna hit a wall. And if you hit that wall, it's gonna be very, very hard for your mental health. Especially because, I was looking for this, I was prepping for that, and then I lost $1,000. I mean, you got to be very, very strong with what you do after the fact. But yeah, we're not going to say numbers, not worry, because you never know if that's Uncle Sam or who that may be.
Yeah. That's great. But yeah, no, listen, and you know what's something else too to add on to that, Seb, I love the way you answered that. Phenomenal breakdown, phenomenal explanation. Don't worry about what the next guy's doing. Don't even think about what the next guy's doing. Know and think about what you're doing, where you're at, and how you're executing markets yourself, right? Your step 2, you might be comparing it to my step 20. And you're going to be like, wow, why is he here and I'm here? I should be much better. Even we saw the other day somebody was saying in the chat that they've been trading for 10 years and they feel like they're not really getting anywhere. 10 years, some people get consistent. I've seen people get consistent in 9 months where they're taking 20K payouts like crazy. I've seen people take 3 to 4 years and they were trading options the whole time. Everybody's journey is going to be different. All of our journeys are like, this is going to sound stupid, but like snowflakes. No two are going to be the same. Even if you could start trading, I could help you hands-on, teach you my entire trading style, but you're still going to trade a bit different from me, because you're going to find what fits you, what you're comfortable with, your risk parameters that you're comfortable trading. My risk, I like to trade maybe $150, $200 risk per trade max. You might be like, that's way too high for me. I want to trade $100 risk. Or you might be, that's too low for me. I want to trade 150K account. I'm comfortable with that. I'm taking those types of $500 risk trades, $1,000 risk trades. It depends on where you are, who you are, and knowing yourself as a trader.
Completely agree, Kevin. Completely agree. Now, just seeing some questions we did have.
Yeah.
Mohammed, let's say you're in the zone 41.25s or the 30s. Yeah. What confirmation do you look before taking a trade? So first, of course, let's go ahead and go to the dollar. What is the dollar right now? Are bears in control or are bulls in control? Because this will correlate with gold. Now, that's number one. Number two, look at the VIX. How is the VIX reacting? Where is the level? We're right now in the 1669. So there's not that much going on with the VIX right now, right? That's number two. we know that volume and volatility may be simmered down. So we're not going to be that aggressive with our trades, right? Trading is personalized as a haircut. It's actually pretty funny.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it's actually a good one.
You want a
So
little off the top, or you want a little risk on the sides?
little risk on the sides. What are you looking? Are you being aggressive today? You know,
Yeah, we shaving it all off, or we blowing your account back?
exactly. Let me go ahead and. Alrighty, I just
There
want to
you go.
share you a link. Let me share you because I'm not connected to the chat, Kevin. You can send this to the chat. Just a little teaser of what we're going to be doing very soon. We talked about the Chrome extension being upgraded. So I just want to go ahead and send that to the chat for a little teaser. But going back to Mohammed, my boy, let's go ahead and just check. So right now, what I was looking for are sales. So of course, on the technical side, what I would do is look at a little bit of the higher time frame, intraday time frame, 1 hour, 4 hourly, and try to look at the levels that we are right now. So we are at the 40-45s. We did have the initial bounce, and as you can see, we're kind of mimicking this move that we had back in June. So a little bit less than 2 or 3 weeks ago. Now, as you can see, we did have the initial bounce in the 40-45s as well as the 40-76. Now, we are hovering around the 41-24s. So what do we do now? We're going to get closer to the market structure that we are in right now. And we're going to start seeing what are going to be our areas of interest, right? Now that we have a little bit of the technical understanding of what is happening with gold, we're going to go very quickly to market. Now you're going to say, oh, I'm biased because I work for market. No, I really use market. It's like, really, it's just the only platform you can use to understand everything like this.
Yeah,
So
nothing else
yeah,
explains it
100%, right,
like that.
Kevin?
Yep.
It's crazy. But yeah, first, you can see that we just tapped the first resistance in the 43.31s. Now, does that mean we're going to enter on full pour sells right now? No, we're not, people.
Oh.
We're not going to do that because what we have to do is confirmation on the lower time frame if we actually respect this zone. So going back to gold, as we can see, the 41.31s is right here, and we are at the 41.28. We're getting close to that area. So we're going to go to the 5-minute candle or even to the 1-minute candle because I personally do use the 1-minute candle for entries. Now, to dissect this even further, we can see right now that we are breaking a little bit above this consolidation area. So for me in the lower time frame, this is a no trade zone, people. You're not going to trade here. Okay, if you trade here, you're going to get whipsawed. You're going to get taken out instantly, and it wouldn't be fair for you. So that's going to be our no trade zone right there. Now, next thing that I'm going to look, as you can see, I already marked it right here. This is our area of consolidation to the left. Now, a clean structure would be if we break above the consolidation, we start going up to the 41.48, and then we start looking for a sell, which would not be out of the ordinary. Now, we have touched this zone multiple times and we have reacted there. But again, everything about in trading is about the confirmation you get. So market gives you the confirmation in the fundamental side of things, right? And also the technicals with the resistance. But you as a trader need to dissect if we're actually holding that area and if we can go into sells. So last but not least, like I told you, this is my no trade zone. So what I would be looking for is either, let me bring that back. I didn't want to close that. So what I would be looking for is either a break of this minor lower time frame consolidation to the downside, or once we break up to the upside, we look for the sells a little bit higher above. Now, this is the best way to have confirmation and to be on the defensive side of things in trading. What do you think, Kevin?
I think I was just typing to let's hit 50 likes today. So
50 likes today? Yes, sir.
but so
Let's
guys, run
do it.
that up. 75 is our new 50 though, guys. So we got to run that up much further. We're only at 40 right now. But for what you were saying, yeah, you gotta find
let's get
the
it. Let's
zone.
get it up, people.
It's all about. I'm a big fan of having that pre-market prep, having that pre-trade prep where you find the zones ahead of time, so you're not just taking random trades in between. So yeah, waiting on that lower time frame structure shift to give you that entry is a great way to trade. waiting for those entries, taking that execution, looking at things like the VIX, like oil, all very helpful. And yeah,
Dollar.
market is all about confirming your general trend off the fundamentals. Our technical analysis is very helpful as well to line up with our fundamentals, not against, with.
Completely agree. Now that you said that, it's actually funny because if it goes against the fundamentals, we have this right here as well, right? I
Yeah,
mean, you're gonna be prepared for
flip
everything.
watch. That's
Flip
right.
watch, exactly.
Everything.
So that's very important that you talked about that because it's not about attacking. It's not all about attacking. It's more about defending your capital. And while you're defending your capital, I promise you're gonna make money. It's like
Yep.
that. Simple as that. Yo, Kevin, Usman.
Yo, look at this, guys. ES about to hit smash take profit level over here. It's previous day high 75.63 we were looking for. If we hit it and reverse back lower, I'd be very careful that we don't stay range bound for the rest of the day. We see prices very range bound. We also see that when we get that first move lately, it's usually followed by a reversal move. So if we continue higher, 75.81, I would love to see price start to pull back from there. But right now, I would still be looking for possible longs, looking for price to continue higher on the ES. Take a look at SpaceX, trading at 149 right now. Wow, it was at lows of 145 yesterday. That is phenomenal. Take that, SpaceXers. Let's see. Tesla, Micron, Amazon pushing bullish, helping support the S&P. Meta pushing bullish, helping support. Microsoft pushing bullish. Nvidia is struggling to the downside. Want to be a little careful there on Nvidia. It is still, though, back above 200. Let's see. I'm a new subscriber to Market. I'm enjoying the platform so far. It's bringing context to my trades. There you go. Market gives you the context that you need to help confirm or deny a possible trend, whether it's off the fundamental catalysts or it's off of a new headline that comes out. Market is a great, great support for your trading. Seb, you're muted. You're not allowed to do that. All right, fine. You'll be muted. We'll let it slide.
My bad. My apologies, people. My apologies. It's when I get like some messages, I mute myself because you're gonna hear the ding.
Gotcha. I know that's why I have to. That's funny. I usually on Discord messages I'll like put myself on to do not disturb and the notifications mute.
Yeah, I need to prep better for the lives. It's my second time here, people. My bad.
Come
I
on,
apologize.
bro. Come on. Be better, Seb. Seb's like, I'm gonna come over
Right
there.
now, what I'm right now what I'm just looking at is just headlines overall. We did have some important headlines for you to see. Now we did
Yep.
have Fed Williams 33 minutes ago. Fed actively debating scenarios around inflation. He also said that inflation is still far too high. So things to take in consideration. Of course, if you touch the brain icon, you're gonna have the actual breakdown of what this actually means. And that's going to be for all headlines. So I was just looking at this. This is very important for all traders. If you do not have a live news feed, it's very important you do so because in this 2026 market that we're having, a lot of things are going to come in the live news feed, something that might move the NASDAQ or gold by a lot. Again, since there's a lot of geopolitical tensions in the Middle East and they're just reigniting. So it's very important you do so. It's a very good tip.
Yep. How far have you studied, Kevin? So I guess in terms of like how long have I been studying and getting into the market, I got into trading when I was 20. I'm 27 now, so about 7 years. First 3 years, or it was just first year, I should say. I was just book after book, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill for psychology. Trading in the Zone, Mark Douglas, great trading book for psychology. What is it? Volume Analysis by Anna Cooling. That's another great book for volume analysis. It was all about studying. I loved it. Loved getting into the market. It wasn't until I started trading futures that I found that consistency, though, that I really started to nail down what I'm looking at versus options just sort of being all over the place. But yeah, it's been, I can't believe how long it's been, man. It's insane. Seb, how about yourself?
Dude, it's been a long time, man. I wanted to show you guys one of my most favorite books that I reread all the time. This is just the cover. The book is right there.
Hey,
But there's the little book of behavioral investing. So, how not to be your own worst enemy. Now, this is very important in trading because at the end of the day, trading is a you versus you thing. Okay. Not
yep.
you versus the markets. It's not you versus the next man. Ooh, look at that.
Look
All right,
at that.
heading into TP. Who else took those trades that Kevin gave? Oh,
Bang.
throw W's in the chat.
They're big W's. Watch it reverse. A
What's
tick
your
away.
reverse right now? As I
You
said
guys ever
that,
see
yeah, it's my bad.
that?
Yeah, damn. No, but that's a beautiful trade, Kevin. You're making people eat. All
Guys,
right.
we got it. We got every market, man. Every market, we got to give it a nice trade setup, or we find an area that we say, okay, no trade zone. But really good
Exactly.
move here. Got a little resistance above head. I'm reading misbehaving. Okay, cool. Can you write the book name? Do you mind writing down that book name in the chat? I'll send that on over.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Let me send that to you. I haven't
Here.
connected.
Bang, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Bang.
Bang. That's it. We hit 2P, people. Now that's gonna
So,
be the book that I'm gonna send you guys right there. It's more of the psychology side of the economics. It's very good if you want to read it. Now, just going back to Mr. Random, you were asking me as well, like how did I learn? Well, personally, I learned with a lot of different books, like the one that I just showed you. There's also another one which is called the monkey paradox, which is very good for psychology as well. But that's not for traders. That's literally just psychology, which
yeah.
I would 100% recommend. But other than that, I do need to give a shout out to one of our founders, so Capital Hungry. This guy is the guy that showed me everything that I know. So if you ever wondered who taught me, that's the guy. Capital Hungry gave us the best fundamental um, advice we ever had. We also had the technical side of things, how he actually breaks down gold, Nasdaq, S&P 500, JVP, JPY. I mean, the guy is very knowledgeable. So yeah, that's how I learned, and it's been already like I think 5 years, man. So yeah.
Wow. That's awesome, bro. Enjoy the
Thank you.
journey. We got a question from Asan over here. Asan, I'm sorry we weren't able to get to yours sooner. Can you go through commodities, XAU USD, silver on market dashboard and explain what's with all the sudden bullish price action after Trump said the deal is over, then he quickly changed?
Yeah, so that's a very good question, and let's start with gold, right? So if you want to know why gold is actually having the move to the upside, what you're just gonna do is you're gonna click on any candle, right? Once you have touched any candle, you're gonna have the what happened, the technicals, the relevant news headlines, and the relevant economic events that came out at that exact time as well. Now, the relevant economic events, if you don't see a high impact event, then it really wouldn't be the reason why it moved. But right now, let's just read a little bit, right? We have Middle East drone attacks and Gulf hostilities spark risk off inflation hedging vid. So as you can see, a little bit ago, I showed you guys with the live news headlines that we did have Fed Williams saying that Fed actively debating scenarios around inflation. Inflation is still far too high. Plus, the Middle East, we're having a lot of tension there, and it's actually reigniting. Now, the Middle East reigniting would be more of a bearish scenario for gold. Now, if we are having relief in the Middle East, which we are having a little bit right now, we are going to be going to the upside. So, technically, how this works in trading is a war is typically bullish for gold. Okay, Jeff S. Fed chair. That's actually hilarious. But as of right now, with everything that we're having with inflation risk and everything more, the war is actually bearish for gold. And it doesn't mean, oh, war is going on, let's buy gold, right? Let's buy Bitcoin. Let's buy that. No,
Yeah.
no, it doesn't work like that anymore, people. There's a lot of fundamental reasoning that needs to be weighed, which is more important, and what is actually driving the price of gold, which of course market gives you the breakdown. So that would be the explanation on more of like a general sense for you as an is a really good question.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, I know. I love everything's so cool about market. Like you click a candle and it's going to tell you why it moved. Like candle, right? People get into trading and they just think, let's look at some candles. Let's find some price patterns. Price patterns don't mean anything if you don't understand the background and the reasoning behind them. Because if you just go off of price patterns, every other candle is going to look like a different pattern. You're going to take 1,000 trades and lose your accounts daily. If you wait, you know how to do your pre-market analysis, you know how to break down fundamentals using market, you get a strong understanding of that current bias that you're day trading. That's when things start to grow, your confidence starts to grow, your trade analysis grows with you, and you're able to take those trades a lot more confidently than 50-50.
Look now, people just going back into gold. As you can see,
Yep.
this was the first fake out, right? Now, the first fake out, the probabilities is that we can go back into the range on the lower time frame. But if we start respecting this consolidation like we are right now, we could expect a very, very nice move to the downside on gold, targeting easily the 4105s or the 4100s. Now, let's let this develop a little bit longer. I do want to go ahead and see that this is going to be the new 1 hourly candle. So the wick for the 1 hourly candle is actually beautiful. What I would be looking for the next hourly candle is giving us that upper wick as well with volume and volatility simmered down at the moment. We would just be ranging in this price handle. So that's the trade that I would take. Now, this is going to be my second probability area of interest. I wouldn't want to actually take the sells in the 4150s. If we actually get to the 4150s, I would wait for a little bit longer to the 4170s. Why? Because I am a very defensive trader. I don't like to jump into the first opportunity that I have. If this one doesn't hold off, which is a good trade that I'm going to enter very soon, then of course I am going to wait for the next areas of interest would be 4180s, depending on the volume and volatility. And at the end of the day, if you are patient and you actually get the 4180s, well, your risk to reward is a lot higher too. We can do a very, very good play to the downside, be on a higher time frame consolidation, and you would take a phenomenal, what is this? Like 800 pips. Like, come on, people. You know,
There
who
we
wouldn't
go.
want 800 pips? With a standard lot, that's like $8,000, right?
Nice.
Phew.
Got a comment. LG saying, I disagree. Not every move needs to be justified. It could be regular order flow. So, yeah, agree and disagree, right? So, in a larger scale, right, on a grander scale, every large move in the market needs some type of justification. We're not going to just reverse on gold for the sake of order flow. We could pull back. We could see pullbacks in the market, and pullbacks are what we consider healthy in trends. That's usually order flow giving us some outflow because people are taking profit. Usually not because they're just shorting at random. So yeah, intraday, we're going to see moves that might not be able to be justified to fundamentals, but a lot of times those are the moves that end up being faded.
Yep. Correct. Yusuf, judging for your hair, Kevin looks more defensive.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, what? I know a bunch of men are going to be here, buddy. What do you mean? You think I'm going to, you relax, all right? I don't
Yeah,
play
but
it that way. It's jokes. No, now, are you a scalper or day trader, Seth? Now, I am a day trader, but scalping, if there's a quick scalp that I can take, then of course I'm going to take it. Scalps are very easy, especially if volatility and volume are down. Now, the difference between a scalper and day trader, of course, now, Joseph, you're my boy, bro. You're my boy. Um, now, the difference between a scalper and day trader, of course, is going to be the time of how long you're going to wait for that trade to happen, and your areas of interest are going to be a lot higher. For example, your stop loss is going to be a lot higher than your standard 30, 40, 50 pips on a scalp, right? So it will be a mental thing at the end of the day if you want to transition from a scalper to a day trader. But once you have that experience, it's very easy to have a little bit of a scalp here because you understand what's happening in the markets. Same thing with being a day trader.
yeah.
Let's go gold. Exactly. Now, like I told you guys, the new 1 hour candle, it's going to give us that wick on the top side. Now we're going to start looking if we start breaking above this consolidation area that I have here to the left, right? So if that does not happen, then it will be looking for the sells below. And that's why I told you guys, I want to look for that entry on the first fake out. We're having the one new hourly candle coming through. Let's wait to see how this develops with the wick, right? So now we just need to go ahead and have the patience to see if we reverse down to 4120s, which I would personally take a trade right there to the downside. But if not, we got to be a little bit more defensive and wait for our better areas of interest a little bit higher up. And that's what I am seeing right now on gold. But let's see how it develops.
Awesome. Great breakdown. Let's see, LG, back to what LG was saying about not every move needs a reason. So, for example, oil has been bearish for the day, and the whole day has been full of headlines that would potentially disrupt oil supply. So, again, that also comes into how markets are perceiving that headline, right? Now, sure, if you're on a 5-minute or a 1-minute, it looks like oil was bearish all day. But if you just pop over to a 15-minute and zoom out a bit, it hasn't been bearish. It has turned a bit more bullish over the past few days. So we're really just seeing a pullback right now. So to say oil's bearish at this moment would be a little too soon to say. So just something to keep in mind. Let me switch that real quick. So look, so like I mentioned, 1-minute time frame. Yeah, you could say we're bearish, but we don't want to be so defined to a lower time frame that we're missing the larger move. Those larger moves don't happen, right? Those larger moves don't happen in a minute. Those larger moves happen over the course of 15-minute time frames, an hourly, a daily, where we're seeing trend continuation. So just something to keep in mind. XAU, oof, man, gold is trying its best to fake out these shorts from this zone, bro.
Yeah, 100%. It's trying its best. We still need to see what the markets have for us in a little bit. I am still waiting for those sells. At the end of the day, if you can see on my chart,
Yeah,
as you can see at the end of the day, I mean, since let's say since April, I have been targeting sales, man. Okay, it's been like 3 months of targeting sales. So at the end of the day, as a mental thing to actually change your bias and change the habit that you've been doing for the last 3 months and have been doing great, it's a little bit of a mental challenge for you. But once you do and you start adapting to the bias, then you're going to be good. Of course, for me, with the war sparking up again, right, with inflation concerns, right, I won't be looking right now to go on longs. I would prefer the sells 100%. And as you can see, we haven't really broken that consolidation area that I showed you guys, the minor consolidation area here to the left. So
look at the dollar.
Yeah, let me look at the dollar.
Dollar's dropping like it's hot right now.
Oh, but dollar's dropping like it's hot. So once we start getting to the hundreds point 80s, we gotta see if we start respecting this area, which is gonna be the break or make decision on gold. Now, if we do start going lower than that, then yeah, looking for the longs for me, I don't like to counter trend. I'm not gonna, if I'm looking for sells, I'm not gonna, because I'm looking at the dollar and it's going down, I'm gonna go into buys right now. That's not enough confirmation for myself. So again, I would just be looking for a position myself on a higher time frame area of interest. Now, what happens if I don't take a trade today, people? Nothing. Okay. I live to trade another day. Tomorrow might be a better day for me. I might look for a better position. I might do an analysis at night just to see how everything is developing. And then in the morning, we attack again. It's better to have no trade days to have forced day trades. Okay.
That's right. That's right. It's just as important to know when to trade like it is to know when not to trade.
Exactly. Completely agree. And we're starting to break that with the new 5-minute candle. Yeah, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens here, people.
Next area of interest on gold that I'm looking at, guys, on XAU is 41.56, another 20 points away from where we are right now.
Perfect. I see. So we were looking at the same thing. You're on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm on XAU right now.
Okay. Sick.
Awesome. I know a lot of those 4X homies in here, so I got to keep it the same.
Yeah. True. Good guys, they are.
Pretty clean take profit there on. Pretty clean take profit there on ES. We hit that, and since then we have been consolidating. So this is why also, guys, I went over yesterday how before you enter a trade, you need to know 3 things. You need to know where you're entering, where your trade is wrong. Where your trade is wrong, that's where your stop loss goes. Your stop loss doesn't go at a set 5 points every time. Your stop loss goes at a structural point. Your stop loss goes where your analysis is wrong and where your take profit is. So your take profit. And none of these things change. When you enter your trade, you cannot go, oh, we're moving, let me move my take profit up now. Because guess what? Now you're going against your plan. You did all that pre-market prep work. You did all of that back testing just to go against your plan you've been building? No way. The 1 hour candle has no lower wick. We are definitely going to come back down. What are you looking on XAU on gold? Yeah, look at that nice rejection there to that previous day
nice
high.
rejection. Yeah, nice rejection, people. And that's why I'm telling you guys, you gotta wait and have patience. This is exactly what I called out around 10 minutes ago. With the new 1 hourly candle, we can be looking for a upper wick. Once we have that upper wick, I would be looking for sells below the 4120s. That's easy as that, which is the lower of the body candles that we are in right now. Now, of course, in this trade, what I would recommend if anybody's going to take this trade, once we have the confirmation below the 4120s, better to have a lower lot than anything. Of course, with fundamental reasons, this could flip and we could go to a higher area of interest, which wouldn't be out of the ordinary. It would be even better for high reward sells. But again, having that confirmation on the lower time frame for the 4120s, it would be ideal. So let's just see how it still develops. As you can see, patience is the game, is the name of the game, people. You know,
That's right.
I didn't jump into any sells. Kevin was looking for the same thing on futures, and right now we're just going to see how it develops.
Yep, that's right. Don't force it. Letting it run. Nice silver. Silver took a nice long position off of 4088 from the London session. Good job, Silver. Silver Surfer over here, killing it on Gold Surfer.
That's actually a guy. Wow, Silver Surfer. Let's go.
Let's go. Yeah, so Moth mentioned the 1 hour candle has no lower wick. We are definitely going to come back down. A lot of traders will do something like that, use something like an hourly or lower time frame and look at the candles and be like, oh, well, there's no wick. We have to do this. Markets don't have to do anything. We have to know that. We have to know that markets can't do anything. Markets can do whatever they want because markets are here, right? If markets were reasonable, a lot of traders would be much better at trading. Markets are unreasonable, right? There's a saying, it's like markets could stay unreasonable longer than you could stay liquid or something like that. But it's true. It's true. Hey Seb, how do you come up with those small lines on your chart? I assume they are your key levels.
Now, do I give out the secret sauce, Kevin? It's your call. You tell me.
Come on, bro.
Give it out.
Sauce. Yes, sir.
Let's do it. Let's do it. So these are called key levels. What you would do is you would go to a higher time frame. It could be the 6 month or the quarterly as well, and you're gonna put the lines on the body of the candles. Once you do that, you're gonna see that over time it does respect them a lot. For example, here it's not exact. It could be exact on this touch over here, so on the 4200s, because it is a big and strong key level. But it's more of reference to see where price is going to react. More times than not, it does react in those areas, but it could be a minor bounce. Of course, in the lower, right now we're looking at the hourly, right? In the hourly, we touched this once, but in the lower time frame, it could be a little bit more of a hassle, right? We can touch it once, twice, or 3 times, and then we go down. So it's not to see the key level. Okay, we get there, we sell immediately. Again, people, take a little bit of an analysis, see if we're holding price, see if we're going to go ahead and reverse, and then go ahead and attack. But always be defensive. While you protect capital, you make more money. Never forget.
There you go. That's right. Once you can manage your losses, the money will come. You cannot just be a profitable trader because you want to be. You have to be able to take losses in trading. That's the biggest difference between the consistent and inconsistent traders. Is the consistent, the profitable, they know how to take a loss.
Yeah, 100%. I just want to talk on Silver Surfer. He said that he's letting a runner go to 4200s. Yeah, 100%, man. I mean, this was something that I actually broke down right when I just got here. You told me London sesh, so maybe you're in capital hungry. Would be interesting to know because Mush was looking for those buys as well. But again, yeah, 100%. Going to the 4200s wouldn't be out of the ordinary. And just to show you what I'm looking at right now, we had this big bearish move to the downside. First initial reaction 40.45, same thing as right now, right? Second reaction 40.76, same thing as right now. And it wouldn't be out of the ordinary, maybe not in this same fashion, which was very, very volume and volatility induced, but it could be more of a fight to get to the 4200s. But again, yeah, I definitely see that. And that's why I do have my second sell attempt will be around the 4180s, or like I have the box here in the 4200s. So yeah, 100% I see what you're seeing. But any type of small reaction like right now, which we're already having, what I told you guys, the 1 hourly is going to have that upper wick, and we're going to start going down. Then having that little bit of the range here, or going back to the 4100s and getting a cool 500, 600 pip move would be phenomenal, right? But I see what you're seeing, bro. Definitely.
Yep. Any thoughts on EU longs? This is all you, bro.
EU longs. Oh Lord. Let's
And
see.
guys, don't forget, smash that like button, man. Run that up. We crossed 50. Our goal is 75 likes a stream, so keep that going. We're gonna hit it.
Dear, you want me to do your USD?
Yeah.
Why not, right? Let's go ahead and do it. I personally, who asked that? I mean, I'm gonna do it for you, okay? So I'll do it for you because I personally, I just look at gold.
You don't trade it? Okay.
Yeah, I don't personally trade it. I have an understanding of it, of course, but I don't personally trade it.
Gotcha. That's all right. You know what? Market just makes it that much easier to understand it anyways,
That
whether you
much
trade it or
easier.
not. How cool is that,
Exactly. I
man?
was just about to show you that. So right now on market, we are on a bullish day trading bias as well as a bullish swing trading bias. Now the target level that we have is to the 1.1500s. Now do understand that there's a resistance in the 1.14 and a support in the 1.13. But at the end of the day, if we see what is supporting the bias is that we see that oil-driven inflation repricing boost with ECB tightening expectations, which again, it would be the same thing for the dollar at the moment because we are having Fed William that talked about 40 minutes ago saying that inflation is extremely high, right? Something to take into consideration with oil going back to 72, 75 price handle. Now, for everybody to know and remember, once oil gets to the 65s or the 64s, that's going to be pre-war prices, which indicates that inflation is heading down little by little. But let's go ahead and, well, my light just died. You're going to see me a little light.
What
My
just
bad,
happened?
people.
Oh.
Yeah, my light, bro, just went away. Now I'm going to be darker. But let's
Now
just
you're
keep
not too
on going.
bright.
We do have softer U.S. labor indicators reduce confidence in aggressive Fed tightening, but that would be as of 1 hour. And 30 minutes ago we did have the new Fed Williams headlines. So that's number one. I would be positioning myself for buys. But again, in this resistance, I wouldn't really do it. It is either if we start playing above the 114s, 505s, or if we go back to this support area for a better confirmation on buys.
Beautiful.
What about you, Kevin? Want to say something about your USD?
Guys, Seb was spot on.
Look at gold right now too. Gold is doing exactly what I told you guys it was gonna do.
Yep.
Sorry for not coming back to dissect the lower time frame on the 1 minute for the entries. It's just that I needed to look for Euro USD for our good buddy pal's job. So right now gold is doing exactly what I wanted to do. If you got this trade, W's on the chat. I couldn't really get it because I was breaking down everything else. But I'm gonna leave my broker open.
Hey, bro. Listen, if you're ever here in the live stream and you think or something's moving and you're in the middle of analysis on something else, move back, go back and take that trade. That's fine. That is absolutely fine. Everybody here knows we're traders first. but we're here really to help give you guys strong education and a strong foundation for your own trading journey.
Exactly. So this is, let me look at the 4 hourly candle. Nah, there's still some room. We do have a little bit of a lower wick there. But again, with volume and volatility simmered down, I mean, the probabilities of us catching a very big trade are going to be iffy. It's better to wait for the higher time frame areas of interest, of course. But if you're a little bit more aggressive, you can always take these bounces, man. It's very easy to do so. But again, let's look at gold. I'm going to start dissecting it
Where
little by
would your
little.
entry? Yeah, I was gonna say where. Good question here in the chat. Where would your entry have been on gold?
Yeah, so on gold, I would start literally on the entry. I would be starting to look for entries at this exact time if we start respecting my entry, right? This is going to be the 4121s. What I want ideally is for the candles to start breaking below this and start having the market lower time frame market structure to the downside to the 4100s. This is literally my entry, as you can see.
Okay.
Now, my stop loss, of course, I'm going to put it above this consolidation area. So it's going to be around 90 pips from entry. And then my TP is the 4100s. Of course, I can put it into the 4096, but I'd rather not. For me, this is just a wick on the higher time frame. And this body candles are going to be a better target for myself. So that's what I would be looking right now as a quick scalp. Again, I am a day trader, and ideally, I would look for what Silver Surfer is doing, go into the 4200s or 4180s, and enter a high risk, high reward sell. That's what I would be doing right there. But yeah, right
Awesome.
now, gold is doing exactly what I told you guys. The entry would have been right there. And let's see how it develops. We got to still check.
Saif, half of U.S. adults under 30 live with parents or live with a parent. Bro,
Sure.
yo, at this rate in the economy, it's gonna be like half the adults under 40 are living with their parents. That would
Bro,
be
who can
crazy.
buy a house in this age, buddy? Can you buy a
Bro,
house safe? I don't, How old
it's
are you? Are you with your parents? Tell us the truth, all
it's
right?
Nah, it's crazy though. It really is, and this always circles back to what I love to talk about, and that's the economy, a possible global reset, but there needing to be pain in the market, not just the stock market, but in any sector, any specific sector, whether it's pain in the energy sector with higher energy costs, pain in the real estate sector, where we had a report, I think it was last month, that for the first time in 6 years there was way more sellers than there are buyers, which usually should start to drive prices of those houses lower, and yet it's not making that impact yet. So at some point, all of these sellers and all those people who are now starting to stop buying because they know that the economy's in a bad spot, or not even because of that, because they just can't afford it, there's going to be pain. People are going to be unable to get out of their houses, and some people who have gotten into houses might end up failing on their mortgages. Foreclosures are going to happen, sort of like an '08 situation with the whole market crash, but there's got to be pain. Bitcoin breaking below 60,000, that's some more pain in itself right there. So it's really a lot to consider. Gold continuing lower there, Seb, great re-entry, bro. Look at that. You're muted, Seb. We can't read your lips.
Muted. I was excited. I was gonna say shebang, but as you can see
Shebang.
on gold, we did have a little bit of a shout out. Famous scene. If I'm saying that wrong, I apologize. You're my goat. You're on a low risk, low stress trade, which is the one that I told you. That is very good again with like market structure. If you took a lower lot trade over here on the 21, that's beautiful, man. Now let's see. Let's let it ride. Once you're up around 100 pips, you gotta be responsible, right? Right now we're around 70. But if you're in 100 pips, start a little bit with the stop loss. Put it on break even, right? You don't want to lose a trade once you're up 100 pips. Again, what I always say, while protecting capital, you will make money. Never forget that, all right? So it's very, it would be a very good idea.
Great point. Elisa says this is why we need to learn to trade. At least there's some level of self-determination. Yeah. So when it comes to self-determination, I'm glad you mentioned that. When we were talking about books earlier, I mentioned one, To Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. It is not a trading book. It is a pure psychology book. Goes over all different type of psychological aspects, determination, destiny, just showing up every day, making that difference, doing what the 90%, the 95% won't do.
Shabam. This is right here. We had El Gator caught an optimal entry on 41.33. Shabang. This is his entry. He's around 200 pips already. And that's really brave on your part, because for me, I was looking, well, as you knew, this was my area of consolidation towards the left. So I don't know if you took it once we started breaking down, which would have been very, very smart of you. Because again, if we didn't break this area, as I showed you before, the probabilities is we were going to start coming back down. So that's phenomenal on your part, Alligator. You even took a better entry of what I was looking. I was looking for better confirmations, but your entry was up here, bro. And that's phenomenal. All right.
I get it. I get it. Alligator, and he's got an alligator in the profile picture.
Clever, yeah, that's true. And he took a smaller lot too. So he knew that it was going to be an aggressive trade, and he entered very, very well. But of course, we're still going to be, we're going to go ahead. Let me go to the 41, 21s.
Beautiful.
All right. Right now, so for everybody, let's do a little technical analysis for everybody. I want to show you guys something very quick. So as you see, we had let me change this color. Okay, we have one there. The other one
here. SMB completely reversed off of that previous day high.
That's exactly what you said. Imagine it reverses right now completely. Yep. That's hilarious. Phenomenal TP placement by Kevin. I gotta tell everybody that this guy's a GOAT.
W's in the chat, man. Team effort. We bring this every day.
Exactly. Now, right now on gold, we are coming back to our entry. As you can see, this is how I do on the lower time frame is I start marking our entries. So the 41.21s is one area of interest on the lower time frame. The 41.14s, we had a reaction there. And I do suppose the 41.07s, another reaction there. Now for Alligator, and this is going to be for everybody, but since you were already up in profit, my recommendation is to have your stop loss moved a little bit more down. Again, we already talked a lot of this. Just to explain a little bit more, the higher time frame, as you can see towards the left, it wouldn't be out of the ordinary to come back to the 4200s to look for those juicy sells. These are the juicy sells, people. I'm telling you, thousands of pips, okay? Not this little thing that I'm looking at here, just for those streams, so I can show you guys the scalping that you can make. But as a day trading, this is what I'm actually looking for. I mean, it's the big red, the 800 pips, the 1,000 pips, where you make just in one trade, you can make what people make in 1 month, right? This is what you can make as a trader. So let's keep on dissecting. I'm sorry for, let me mute those notifications real quick.
Am I tripping?
Yeah, it's me, bro. It's like 20 messages. let me mute them.
All good, bro. All good. Listen, man, you're a busy guy. I get it.
Hey, that's what it is. We gotta work hard, man.
That's right, bro. Every day you got to give it 110%. No such thing as giving 100%. The next guy will give 100%. You have to give 110%. That's how you stay undefeated in these markets. I wanted to touch on, Yusuf mentioned something before. I am salty. It touched my stop loss and then just went down. Now, a lot of times, and I see this often, and I love trying to help people who are in a situation like that, because it does happen fairly often to traders where it feels like markets stop hunt you. It's like, oh, it stopped hunting me, and then it moved right in my favor. And you're like, oh, the market knew where my stop loss was, when in reality, markets don't even know you're there. So you got to ask yourself at that point, did you have a proper stop loss? Was it somewhere that was where your trade analysis was incorrect? Or was it somewhere defined by a specific point amount, and that's always where you set it? Did you move it up too soon? Did you move your stop loss to break even too quickly? What was the case? And you got to be able to journal these things. Take a screenshot, put it somewhere. I always tell people, if you don't have some type of trade journal, what you can do, I'm going to pull up the Discord for a moment. Where are we? So what you could do with a tool like Discord is you can, and guys, I'll send you the link to join our Discord community too. But you can come over here to Discord, hit add a server, create your own server, and leave your screenshots in there. Very easy to do, and it keeps you gives you extra accountability.
Mm-hmm. Completely agree. Completely agree. I see you got to break even on that. That's phenomenal trade management. I props on you. I'm gonna give you a round of applause because that's very good. Exactly what I said. I mean, we gotta be careful in these areas. The high silver. Oh, thank you, thank you. Like silver tang. Oh, I prefer silver surfer, man. It's better for you. But I'm gonna say silver tang out of respect. The 4200 cells are gonna be very juicy, man. I agree with you. And Juice, if you're the GOAT, you already know.
Yes, sir. Just give it a second try, see if it's happening multiple times. This is what I do. Sometimes trade takes multiple attempts, and not every time we are going to get picture perfect entry. You're absolutely right on that, 100%. And if we had picture perfect entries, don't you think we would be sizing up to like $10,000 risk per trade?
Goals, you know?
Right? Well, man, we'll get there. You just got to stay on yourself. Break even on XAUSD, no need to be greedy. Where was your entry? You're getting in over here?
Exactly what we were looking for in the nice explanation that it did. And he did it phenomenal by putting it on break even on the 4121s. If you're on futures, of course it's gonna be different price, but it's same idea at the end of the day.
Yep.
Trade
Absolutely.
management is very important, people. Don't forget about that. I mean, trade management, even on with El Gator, right? I mean,
Yep.
he was around 200 pips in profit. Let's see if he secured some, or what are you up to right now, El Gator? Just a little bit. People use prop firms to build their own capital, lifestyle.
People use prop firms to build their own capital real accounts, not to fund their lifestyle. One denied payout, it puts you under financial pressure. Even depositing 20 to 30% per payout is good. Very smart. Very. Yeah, you should be using prop firms to utilize and prop yourself into building your real accounts, building full accounts, right? Take advantage of the prop firms, rinse them out, right? They call rinsing out prop firms when you get 5 accounts with one and you take max payouts on all 5 of them, right? Be consistent in that matter. Build slowly. Take advantage of them all so that if you're a new trader and you don't want to be putting a lot of capital at risk, you can get one of these prop accounts and not have lost $2,000, right? If you blow an account that has a $2,000 stop loss, wouldn't you rather lose that $80 or $100 for that account versus the $2,000 you would have really lost if you funded yourself? But yeah, give yourself, you know what it is? I'm a big fan too of giving yourself consistent and reachable goals. Don't, when you're getting into trading, let's say you're brand new, you're getting into a prop firm for the first time, everybody wants a payout. But your goal as a new trader shouldn't be to make a payout, shouldn't even be to just take winning trades. Your goal as a trader should be to hold that account for longer than a week. I know so many traders that get started, blow their account in a few days because they're sizing incorrectly. Learn how to size properly, give yourself reasonable goals. Once you're able to do that, then you want to shoot for 2 weeks. Once you're able to take losses, then you can work on, okay, I limited my losses to $50 to $100. Now I could really start nailing down, how do I let my winners run? How can I pass this account? Next short-term goal, get that payout. Great. Then your next short-term goal, on your third payout, maybe take that money and put it in your own account, right? But give yourself achievable goals, not just, oh, I want a max allocation, max payout on Apex 20 accounts right now, 40 grand. Be realistic. If you've never had a payout before, do you really think you're going to start with a 40 grand payout? So realistic with yourself, realistic with your market, and that's psychology right there. Your goal should be not sleeping in the streets.
And we actually
we got to have higher standards than that.
100%, I agree.
LG says I was planning to
Just
ride
looking
it out, but I
at the
closed
live
the
news
position.
feed, we do have a little bit of rear threads. Yeah, 100%.
Do we have any headlines? 10:30, ladies and gentlemen. We just had Strait of Hormuz threat level remains severe. Take a look at how oil's reacting to that. Oil's doing a whole lot of nothing right now. No trade zone on oil.
Nothing.
Beautiful. Guys, if you have any last minute questions, please let us know. We're going to be wrapping up our market in the morning stream very shortly. Guys, if you haven't yet, make sure you smash that like button. We go live every single day, Monday through Friday, 8:20 to 10:30. Seb, do you have anything you want to leave us off on?
Nah, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just do my last 2 cents on gold. I was in the higher time frame. I apologize. This, as you can see here, this was back in 2020, 2021. I had all of the fundamental reasonings right here of why the market was moving, and this was before we had market AI. But yeah, that's pretty funny to me. I always like going back to see that little bit of progress. Well, of course, on gold, what I would do, a lot of people did what I told them to do. They took the entry on the 4121s, but they did place the break even. We also got El Gator, which had a phenomenal entry of the 33s, and he did close. I believe he closed with a minor profit to write it, but I closed the position. I'm planning to enter if I see another rejection. Phenomenal. I mean, if you see another rejection in the 4133s, it would be phenomenal to look at some entries there, but I would be a little bit more careful because of it could be a second top, but with the third top, I wouldn't be looking for a third top. If we do get there on the third top, wait for a better area of sell. For example, our boy Silver, he's waiting for the 4200 sell, which is a high risk, high reward sell. And I would 100% recommend that as well, people. We just throw right now on the chats our Discord. Please join our Discord. We have all of the information that we're sharing here, and it's a nice community. Share your thoughts, share your trade ideas. We're always open to help. Just tag us, tag Seb, tag Kevin, or tag anybody that you want from the team. We're always going to help, okay?
That's it. Always, man. We're here to help you guys take it to that next level. Be that support system you need. Everybody needs a little hand when it comes to trading, right? Nobody's just going to, oh, I'll do it myself, right? You do it yourself. You're going to go through YouTube Academy and watch every video under the sun and find yourself nowhere fast.
So somebody just shared before we leave, Kevin, somebody just shared a trading view chart. Phenomenal. So you're looking at the 15-minute candle. Let's just look at the higher time frame candle. Let's just go to the 1 hourly. And why, again, just the last thing that I'm going to say here to help you guys is why am I looking for the sells on the 4200s? Because as you can see, we've had this price action before, right? We went to the 4045s. We actually had a bounce, then 4076. We had a bounce. Now, of course, we're not going up in this same fashion because this was a fundamental driven move, which had a lot of volume and volatility induced in it. But it would be the same scenario. Right now, we are technically in a higher time frame consolidation area, which would be this very big area, right? Once we start heading above the 4200s, we need the fundamental reason behind it. We need actually something supporting it. And if we do not have it, we're just going to have a reaction like we have had that in the past. Usman, my brother, it's been my pleasure helping you today. I'll try to be on with Kevin a lot more. I'll become more perceptive as well. We had somebody said something about my hair. Relax. Right? We're all men here.
He's going to come. You're going to come next time. He's going to be all combed to the side and everything.
All combed to the side, yeah.
Slick back. That's awesome. Guys, we're happy to do it. Make sure you guys leave a like. Make sure you're subscribed and join us tomorrow for the next episode of Market in the Morning. Have a great day, everybody. Take care. Peace.